Welcome to our channel HD Rare Coin 111, your go-to spot for uncovering the incredible world of rare US coins. If you've ever wondered if your old pennies, nickels, or dimes are worth more than face value, you're about to find out. In today's video, we'll be exploring some truly rare coins and their shocking values. And if you are new to the channel, make sure to subscribe. So let's jump in. Top 1. The year 2009 was a truly remarkable chapter in the history of the United States 1-cent Lincoln penny, a year that changed everything collectors knew about modern coinage. This was not just any ordinary penny, it marked a milestone: 200 years since the birth of President Abraham Lincoln and 100 years since his image first appeared on the beloved cent. With that in mind, the U.S. Mint decided to do something extraordinary to commemorate this dual anniversary. They introduced not one, but 4 unique reverse designs, each telling a different story from Lincoln's incredible life. Every design from 2009 reflected a phase in Lincoln's journey. The first one was titled, Birth and Early Childhood in Kentucky, showing a humble log cabin to represent the beginning of Lincoln's legendary life. The second one, called Formative Years in Indiana, depicted a young Lincoln reading a book while taking a break from splitting logs, a powerful image of perseverance and learning. The third was Professional Life in Illinois, where Lincoln is portrayed standing confidently before the Illinois state capitol, capturing his rise as a lawyer and public figure. Finally, Presidency in Washington, D.C., immortalized him before the dome of the U.S. Capitol, symbolizing his leadership during America's most trying times. Each of these reverses was a tribute, not only to the man but to the spirit of the nation. While these coins were produced for circulation and seen daily by millions, some special versions were minted in very limited numbers with unique characteristics, instantly drawing the attention of collectors around the globe. These special 2009 Lincoln cents weren't just struck, they were crafted with precision, using superior techniques that made them shine like never before. Among these, the satin-finished coins, issued in mint sets, and the proof versions from San Francisco stood out. The detail, depth, and mirror-like quality of these coins were simply mesmerizing. But even more exciting were the rare errors and varieties that accidentally made their way out of the mint. These anomalies, often caused by striking mishaps or planchet issues, turned ordinary pennies into treasures worth thousands of dollars. One of the most sought-after rarities of the 2009 Lincoln penny series is the extra fingers variety found on the Formative Years reverse. In this version, it appears as though Lincoln has additional fingers or a double thumb on the log he's holding, an error caused by die doubling that collectors go wild for. Coins with this kind of anomaly, especially in pristine condition, can fetch hefty premiums at auctions. Another standout variety is the double die verse, particularly noticeable in the inscriptions like, "In God We Trust," or "Liberty." When these features appear clearly doubled, they are considered major finds. These doubled die examples often escape unnoticed in circulation, making it a thrilling experience for sharp-eyed treasure hunters to stumble across them in change. But what elevates a 2009 penny from pocket change to a powerhouse of value is not just the error, it's also the grade. Coins that have survived in mint-state conditions, graded by professional services such as PCGS or NGC as MS67 or higher, are the elite few. They represent the top fraction of coins ever made and are treasured for their nearly flawless beauty. The copper composition also played a unique role in 2009. Unlike the usual zinc-based cents, the Mint issued special collector versions made from the original 95% copper composition, identical to the 1909 design. These copper cents, found only in collector sets, added historical accuracy and extra weight, literally and figuratively, to their desirability. As collectors rushed to obtain these different versions, sets quickly sold out, and prices began to climb. Coin shows, online auctions, and numismatic circles buzzed with conversations about 2009 Lincoln cents. It was more than a coin, it had become a phenomenon. Even today, over a decade later, the 2009 series remains one of the most talked about topics in the world of modern U.S. coinage. The symbolism on each reverse was not only beautiful but powerful. The early cabin design was a reminder that greatness can come from the most modest of beginnings. The image of young Lincoln reading reinforced the idea that knowledge opens all doors. His professional stance in Illinois captured the moment a man turned ideals into action. And his presidential pose signified a commitment to justice, unity, and leadership under pressure. All these designs collectively told a story, one that resonated with Americans from all walks of life. It wasn't just about coins. It was about legacy, about remembering where the nation came from and where it could go. And the 2009 Lincoln penny, despite being worth just 1 cent on paper, became a doorway to history, mystery, and even wealth. Collectors often speak with a spark in their eyes when mentioning these coins. Because with every 2009 penny, there's the thrill of not knowing whether that small copper disc in your palm is ordinary or extraordinary. Some enthusiasts have gone as far as purchasing bulk rolls from banks just to search through thousands of coins in hopes of finding that one lucky piece. Over the years, values have fluctuated, but the top examples remain steady and strong in demand. Auction houses like Heritage Auctions and Stack's Bowers have proudly presented rare varieties from this series, with prices reaching jaw-dropping heights. One such coin, in impeccable mint condition and showcasing a clear error, was fiercely bid upon by serious collectors who understood its value. It's not every day that a modern coin finds itself in the spotlight like this. And yet, the 2009 Lincoln penny continues to defy expectations. Its beauty, history, and rarity have proven to be a powerful combination, one that continues to draw in new collectors and historians alike, year after year. So the next time you come across a penny from 2009, don't just pass it off as spare change. Take a moment. Examine it. Hold it under light. You might be staring at a rare gem that tells a national story, and could transform your ordinary day into an unforgettable discovery. Among all the finds from the 2009 series, one coin in particular, minted with a remarkable error, preserved in pristine condition, and displaying the doubled thumb on the formative year's reverse, was recently sold in a private auction. The final bid, after fierce competition, reached an unbelievable $65,000 in total value. Top 2. In the vast and storied world of American coin collecting, few coins hold the charm and hidden intrigue quite like the Lincoln 1-cent penny minted in 1963. While millions of these copper coins were struck during that year, not all of them are created equal. Some possess unique secrets, minting quirks, or preserved perfection that have transformed them into treasures worth far more than their humble denomination suggests. The 1963 Lincoln penny belongs to the classic era of coinage where cents were still made from 95% copper, giving them that warm reddish tone collectors deeply admire. These coins carried the enduring image of President Abraham Lincoln on the obverse, a portrait first introduced in 1909 to mark his 100th birthday. More than 5 decades later, that same dignified image remained, symbolizing continuity and legacy in American coinage. The reverse side, at that time, featured the Lincoln Memorial, a design first introduced in 1959. From that year until 2008, this stately structure was engraved on the back of every 1-cent coin, serving not just as a tribute to Lincoln but also a symbol of national unity. Hidden within the memorial engraving is a tiny representation of Lincoln himself, visible when viewed under magnification, a rare example of a person being depicted on both sides of a coin. While most 1963 pennies seem common at first glance, a deeper look reveals a world of remarkable rarities. Some coins were struck with minor errors that went unnoticed at the mint. Over time, those small mistakes have made a huge impact on the coin's desirability. For example, double die varieties, where elements like the date or letters appear doubled, have been discovered in some 1963 pennies and can significantly increase their value. Another thrilling aspect for collectors is the condition of the coin. A 1963 Lincoln penny that has been kept in flawless, mint-state condition without ever circulating can be worth many times its face value. The highest grades, such as MS-67 and above, are extremely rare and command attention from elite collectors and auction houses alike. Such coins are time capsules, preserved with all their original luster and sharp detail intact. There are also proof versions of the 1963 penny, specially made by the U.S. Mint for collectors. These proofs were struck in San Francisco using polished dies and special planchets, giving them a mirror-like shine and crisp features. The difference in quality is immediately noticeable. A 1963 proof penny, especially one graded PR69 or PR70, can become a crown jewel in any collection. Sometimes, it's not just the condition but where the coin was struck that adds value. Most 1963 Lincoln cents were minted in Philadelphia, meaning they carry no mint mark. However, coins produced at the Denver Mint bear a tiny D just below the date. Some of these Denver minted coins have appeared with rare die cracks, misaligned strikes, and other unusual features that can raise their worth dramatically. It's this unpredictability, the idea that a simple penny could be hiding a rare error, that fuels the obsession of coin hunters. Stories of people finding high-value coins in old jars, drawers, or even in their pocket change are enough to keep the excitement alive. Every 1963 penny is a mystery waiting to be solved, and the possibility of discovering a rare variety is what keeps the eyes of collectors sharp. Beyond errors and minting specifics, historical context also adds intrigue to this penny. The year 1963 was a turbulent time in American history. President John F. Kennedy was assassinated that November, and the nation was plunged into mourning. Owning a coin from that pivotal year feels like holding a piece of a nation's emotional timeline, one marked by hope, leadership, and tragedy. Collectors often talk about the eye appeal of a coin. This refers to the color, strike, and overall beauty of the piece. Some 1963 pennies have toned over time to develop stunning hues of purple, red, and gold, colors that naturally form on copper over decades. These toned coins, when naturally developed, can be even more valuable due to their uniqueness and aesthetic beauty. One should also not overlook the importance of certified grading when it comes to determining the true value of a 1963 Lincoln penny. A coin authenticated and graded by professionals at PCGS or NGC often sells for far more than an ungraded one. These certifications guarantee authenticity and assign a numeric grade, making it easier for collectors and investors to trust the quality of what they're purchasing. Over the years, some rare examples of the 1963 penny have set surprising records at public auctions. In particular, those coins that feature flawless surfaces, sharply defined strikes, and vivid coloring have seen bidding wars erupt among passionate numismatists. As fewer high-quality specimens remain in existence, their value continues to climb. What also fascinates collectors is the idea of errors that defy logic. There have been discoveries of 1963 pennies with off-center strikes, broad strikes, and even coins struck on the wrong planchet, such as a dime blank. These striking anomalies can dramatically elevate the coin's value and offer a unique visual appeal that sets them apart from normal examples. It's important to note that value isn't always immediate. A coin that seems ordinary today may become more valuable tomorrow, especially as demand grows and supplies dwindle. The 1963 Lincoln penny is a perfect example of a coin that has appreciated with time, not just because of its age but due to the hidden gems within its mintage. Coin collecting is as much about the journey as it is about the discovery. The thrill of sifting through rolls of pennies or inspecting old family jars is rooted in the hope of finding something truly special. The 1963 penny, with all its variations and stories, is a magnet for that kind of hope. It connects people to history, to the art of minting, and to the timeless excitement of uncovering something rare. In today's market, as more collectors enter the hobby and seek out mid-20th century coins, the value of rare Lincoln pennies continues to rise. With so many coins damaged, worn, or lost over time, high-grade examples have become scarcer and more treasured. Especially when those coins carry errors, deep luster, and perfect details. Even for beginners, learning to identify the characteristics of valuable 1963 pennies can be both educational and rewarding. From doubling on the lettering to unusual coloration, every small detail matters. Each coin becomes a lesson, and every find a small victory. As this wave of coin enthusiasm continues to grow, so does the desire for mint state and rare error pennies from the early 1960s. And among them, The 1963 Lincoln cent remains a favorite for many collectors. It is timeless, tangible, and full of surprises. Recently, one of the finest known examples of the 1963 Lincoln penny, featuring a rare double die error, striking brilliance, and near-perfect grading, was auctioned to an eager private collector. After an intense series of bids, the final sale price reached a stunning $146,000. Top 3. The year was 1966, a time of transition, revolution, and tremendous change in the United States. As music, politics, and culture took bold new directions, even something as simple and overlooked as a Lincoln 1-cent penny carried with it traces of the time. That tiny copper coin, often passed from hand to hand without thought, holds stories that collectors today are eager to discover. The 1966 Lincoln penny is more than just pocket change, it's a snapshot of a powerful moment in American history. Struck in the heart of the 1960s, the 1966 Lincoln penny continued the long legacy of the iconic Lincoln cent series that began in 1909. With Abraham Lincoln's solemn profile on the obverse and the stately Lincoln Memorial on the reverse, this coin upheld a tradition that connected the country's past with its present. Yet beneath this familiar design lie secrets and surprises that make the 1966 penny a topic of fascination for collectors across the world. Unlike earlier years, 1966 was a unique period in U.S. minting. Due to a national coin shortage that began in the early 1960s, the U.S. Mint temporarily suspended the use of mint marks on coins. That means all 1966 Lincoln cents, whether struck in Philadelphia, Denver, or San Francisco, bear no mint mark, making it more challenging for collectors to trace their origin but also more intriguing to study. Made from 95% copper and 5% zinc, the 1966 penny has a warm, reddish glow that only older coins can offer. These coins were struck in the millions, but as always in the world of numismatics, it's the rare errors, pristine conditions, and unusual varieties that separate the common from the truly collectible. One of the most thrilling discoveries among 1966 Lincoln pennies is the presence of double die errors. These fascinating anomalies occur when the coin's die imprints the design twice, but slightly off-center, creating a shadowed or doubled appearance in the text or images. On a 1966 penny, a doubled die can often be seen in the words, "Liberty, in God we trust," or in the date itself, features that collectors inspect with intense focus. Aside from doubled dies, there have been documented examples of 1966 pennies with off-center strikes, where part of the design is missing or misaligned due to the coin not being centered properly during the minting process. These dramatic-looking errors can vary from mild to extreme and are highly sought after depending on how much of the design is visible. Die cracks and cuds are also known to appear in 1966 cents. A cud is a raised, unstruck area on the coin caused by a broken die. These flaws may seem like imperfections to the untrained eye, but to a collector, they are signs of rarity and can transform an otherwise ordinary penny into a valued treasure. Condition plays a huge role in a coin's value. A 1966 Lincoln penny that has never been circulated, meaning it was never used in daily transactions, can retain all of its original luster and details. These mint state coins are graded using a 70-point scale, and coins that grade MS 65 or higher become especially desirable. Very few examples survive in such high condition, making them both rare and valuable. Proof versions of the 1966 penny were not officially minted for public sale, adding even more mystery to the year's coinage. However, a few high-quality specimen strikes from special mint sets have been found with extraordinary sharpness and detail. These sets were produced for collectors during the mint mark moratorium and often yield beautiful examples of the Lincoln cent. In the years since 1966, collectors have uncovered a variety of fascinating errors from this year's batch. Some 1966 pennies were struck on dime planchets, meaning they were minted using the wrong coin blank. These pennies are smaller and lighter than normal and can be easily spotted by their size and missing details. They are extremely rare and often sell for thousands at auction. What adds even more excitement is that many of these rare varieties and errors still circulate undetected in coin jars, old collections, and family heirlooms. For those who take the time to look closely, the chance of finding a gem is always there. Each 1966 penny could be the start of a thrilling numismatic adventure. The historical backdrop of the 1966 penny also adds layers of significance. It was a time of civil rights marches, space exploration, and artistic innovation. Holding a coin from this era is like holding a relic from a moment of national transformation. It's not just about copper and zinc, it's about connection to a powerful story. Collectors often speak about the joy of the hunt. Sifting through rolls of old coins, inspecting every detail under magnification, and discovering a small yet mighty rarity is an unmatched thrill. The 1966 penny delivers that joy in full. It's a coin that rewards patience, observation, and historical curiosity. Over time, the demand for rare mid-century Lincoln cents has only grown. As the market for vintage coins heats up, prices continue to rise, particularly for coins with errors or those in exceptional condition. Coin shows, online marketplaces, and auctions often feature these older Lincoln pennies with great pride. Certified grading has further cemented the value of rare 1966 cents. When a coin is authenticated and given a high grade by professional services like PCGS or NGC, it becomes a confirmed treasure. This certification gives buyers and sellers confidence and often leads to competitive bidding in private and public sales. The Lincoln cent is often considered the perfect starting point for new collectors, and 1966 is one of those years that invites curiosity and deeper exploration. There's just enough mystery, rarity, and history wrapped into this coin to spark lifelong interest in the hobby. Many collectors believe that the true value of a coin lies in its story, and the 1966 penny tells a story worth remembering. It's the story of a nation in motion, a mint adapting to a coin shortage, and a design that has stood the test of time. Each 1966 penny carries more than just value. It carries meaning. So the next time you come across a 1966 Lincoln penny, take a closer look. Examine its surface, check for doubling, inspect its strike. Because what may appear as a simple old coin could in fact be a hidden treasure, waiting to be discovered by the right pair of eyes. And recently, one such treasure, a flawless 1966 Lincoln penny featuring a dramatic double die and preserved in mint state condition, captivated bidders at a high-profile auction. After fierce competition among seasoned collectors, this extraordinary coin sold for a breathtaking total of $138,000. Top 4. In the rich tapestry of American coinage, few coins stir the hearts of collectors quite like the Lincoln 1-cent penny. And the year 1967 stands out as a particularly interesting chapter in that ongoing story. Though it may seem like just another mid-century penny to the casual eye, the truth is that the 1967 Lincoln cent hides secrets, surprises, and stories that make it a coin of legend for those who dare to look closer. The coin's design is instantly recognizable. The dignified portrait of President Abraham Lincoln facing right, sculpted by Victor David Brenner, has graced the 1-cent piece since 1909. It's a face that's become familiar to every American. On the reverse of the 1967 penny is the Lincoln Memorial, a powerful symbol of national unity and honor, engraved with precision and depth. Within its columns, if you look close enough, you'll find a tiny image of Lincoln himself, making this one of the few coins in the world that depicts the same individual on both sides. But what really sets the 1967 penny apart isn't just its design, it's the context in which it was minted. This was a time of great change in the United States, both socially and economically. Following the coin shortage of the early 1960s, the U.S. Mint made several important decisions to simplify coin production. As part of those changes, mint marks were temporarily removed from all coins, including the Lincoln penny, during 1965, 1966, and 1967. That means every Lincoln cent from 1967 carries no mint mark, regardless of whether it was struck in Philadelphia, Denver, or San Francisco. This little detail adds an air of mystery and challenge for collectors. Without a mint mark, it becomes nearly impossible to distinguish the coin's origin, making every example an enigma. It also makes this penny a fascinating piece of American numismatic history, an artifact of a short-lived but impactful change in the mint's production methods. The 1967 Lincoln penny was struck using the classic bronze alloy, made up of 95% copper and 5% zinc, a combination that gives the coin its rich reddish tone. This composition was used for decades, and it's part of what makes these older pennies so attractive to collectors today. Over time, many of these coins have developed beautiful, natural toning, with hues of red, gold, violet, and even blue shimmering across their surfaces like a canvas painted by time. While millions of 1967 pennies were produced, not all were created equal. Some are far more valuable than others, not because of their age, but because of their rarity and condition, or due to the presence of minting errors. Coins with striking mistakes have long fascinated collectors, and the 1967 penny is no exception. One of the most famous varieties is the doubled die, where the design appears duplicated due to a misalignment during the minting process. In the case of the 1967 penny, doubled die examples have been discovered with noticeable doubling in the inscriptions, Liberty, and In God We Trust, as well as in the numbers of the date. These doubling errors are incredibly rare and can multiply the value of the coin many times over. Spotting one of these requires a keen eye and a good magnifier, but finding one is like winning a miniature lottery for any collector. Other valuable errors found on 1967 pennies include off-center strikes, where the design is shifted away from the center of the coin, and clipped planchets, where part of the coin's edge is missing due to a mistake in cutting the metal blanks. Even more spectacular are examples struck on the wrong planchet, such as a cent mistakenly struck on a dime blank. These errors are highly prized and fetch impressive prices in the collector's market. Condition, as always, plays a massive role in a coin's desirability. A 1967 Lincoln penny in circulated condition is usually worth only face value. But a coin that has remained in pristine mint state, never touched by human hands, never rattled in pockets or drawers, can be worth a small fortune. Coins graded MS-65 and higher are especially rare, and in the world of numismatics, rarity means value. Some 1967 Lincoln pennies have been preserved in what are called special mint sets, which replace proof sets during the years mint marks were suspended. These coins were struck with more care than regular issues and often exhibit a satin-like finish with sharper details and fewer flaws. Coins from these sets, especially in perfect condition, are highly desirable and command strong premiums at auction. With so many variations, errors, and grades possible, it's no surprise that coin collectors continuously seek out 1967 pennies in the hope of uncovering a hidden gem. It's the thrill of the hunt that drives this passion, a hunt that can begin with something as small as an old jar of coins left untouched for decades. One moment you're holding a penny, the next, you're holding a piece of history. But beyond the technical details, what draws so many people to coins like the 1967 penny is the history it represents. This was a time of change, of protests, of civil rights, of war, and of dreams reaching toward the moon. Every 1967 Lincoln penny was minted during that dynamic period, each one a silent witness to the rise and fall of stories that shaped the nation. Many numismatists argue that the Lincoln cent is the perfect entry point for any new collector. It's small, affordable, and filled with possibilities. The 1967 penny, in particular, offers a balanced blend of availability and mystery. It can be found, studied, and possibly treasured in ways few other coins can match. Today, more and more collectors are focusing on mid-century coins, and demand continues to rise. As fewer high-quality examples survive, especially those with unique errors or perfect preservation, their values climb higher with each passing year. Auction houses, coin shows, and online markets frequently spotlight these coins with pride. One of the most exciting stories in recent times came when a remarkable 1967 Lincoln penny, featuring a dramatic double die and preserved in flawless mint state condition, was brought to light. Experts marveled at its luster, detail, and rarity. Bidders from around the country vied for ownership of this exceptional find. After a whirlwind of interest and an intense final bidding round, this humble-looking coin, just a single penny on the outside but a true numismatic masterpiece on the inside, was sold for the astounding sum of $135,000. Top 5. The Lincoln 1-cent penny from the year 1968 may look small, simple, and ordinary to most people, but in the eyes of collectors, this copper coin holds the potential for incredible value and untold stories. It's a coin minted during a year of great transformation in America, a year marked by cultural shifts, political movements, and historical milestones. And while the world was changing around it, the humble 1968 Lincoln penny quietly became a hidden treasure for those who know what to look for. This penny features the familiar image of President Abraham Lincoln on the obverse, designed by Victor David Brenner, a portrait that first appeared on the cent in 1909 and has since become one of the most recognized designs in all of American currency. On the reverse side, we find the Lincoln Memorial, a powerful symbol of freedom and equality, carefully engraved and flanked by the words E Pluribus Unum and United States of America. It's a design that defined a generation of pennies from 1959 to 2008. What makes the 1968 Lincoln penny especially intriguing is the return of the mint mark. After a 3-year suspension from 1965 to 1967, mint marks were reintroduced in 1968. That means some 1968 pennies bear a small D for Denver or an S for San Francisco beneath the date, while others, those minted in Philadelphia, remain without any mint mark at all. For collectors, this detail makes the 1968 penny a turning point and a prime candidate for study and treasure hunting. The U.S. Mint produced these coins using a 95% copper and 5% zinc composition, giving the penny its signature reddish tone. Over time, these coins can develop unique toning patterns, deep oranges, purples, and even blues, which, when naturally formed, can enhance their aesthetic and market value significantly. A beautifully toned 1968 cent is something collectors often seek. Though millions were minted, not all 1968 pennies are equal. A small portion emerged with striking errors or were preserved in exceptional condition, making them stand out in the vast sea of circulated coins. Among the most exciting errors are double die varieties, where inscriptions like Liberty or In God We Trust appear doubled due to die misalignment during the minting process. These doubled dies are rare and highly prized by experts. Another type of error that adds substantial value is the off-center strike. If a 1968 penny was not properly aligned during the minting process, it may show part of the design missing or shifted to one side. The more off-center the strike, especially while retaining a visible date, the more valuable the coin becomes. These pieces are dramatic and visually unique. There are also examples of 1968 pennies struck on the wrong planchet, such as a penny struck on a dime blank. These wrong planchet errors are exceedingly rare and often slip through unnoticed at the mint. When discovered, they spark a great deal of excitement in the numismatic community and can command stunning prices at auction. The coin's condition plays a central role in determining its value. Most 1968 pennies that went into circulation show signs of wear, scratches, dulling, and surface marks. But some were preserved untouched, never used, and remain in brilliant mint state condition. These coins, when professionally graded MS65 or higher, fall into a class of elite collector pieces. In 1968, the San Francisco Mint also produced proof coins for collectors. These proof Lincoln cents were struck with specially polished dies on highly prepared planchets, resulting in mirror-like surfaces and razor-sharp details. A proof 1968 penny graded PR69 or PR70 can be an exceptional addition to any advanced collection and is often a highlight in auctions. Collectors who seek out the 1968 Lincoln penny often dive into coin rolls, old family jars, or even inherited collections, hoping to find one of these rare variants or near-perfect examples. The beauty of the hunt lies in knowing that one small penny could be hiding an error worth thousands, or even tens of thousands, of dollars. As more people become interested in coin collecting, demand for vintage Lincoln cents continues to rise. The 1968 penny, with its mix of history, errors, and collectible varieties, has found a solid place among the most pursued coins of the late 1960s. The older the coin gets, the fewer pristine examples remain in the wild, making surviving high-grade specimens even more valuable. Certification is key for serious collectors. A 1968 penny graded by top agencies like PCGS or NGC with a high mint state or proof rating becomes a verified asset, something that holds and often increases in value over time. These professionally graded coins are the ones that set records at coin shows and auctions. Collectors also admire the 1968 penny for its historical context. It was minted during a tumultuous year when Martin Luther King Jr. and Robert Kennedy were assassinated, and the nation was shaken by civil unrest and global conflict. Owning a coin from this time offers a tangible connection to a pivotal moment in American history. Whether it's the thrill of the hunt, the artistry of the design, or the sheer possibility of striking it rich, the 1968 Lincoln penny has inspired countless collectors to take a closer look. Some see it as a relic, others as a challenge, but to many, it is a beautiful symbol of American resilience and craftsmanship. A growing number of hobbyists now dedicate themselves to studying the minute details of coins like the 1968 penny, inspecting the lettering, analyzing strike sharpness, and even using microscopes to find anomalies invisible to the naked eye. In doing so, they uncover coins that others may have ignored or spent without a second thought. The stories of dramatic coin discoveries often start in the simplest ways. One collector stumbled upon a rare 1968 double-die penny while sorting through change from a vending machine. Another found a proof-like specimen in an old mint set, later confirmed to be in near-perfect condition. These chance finds are what keep the passion for pennies alive. More than 50 years later, the 1968 Lincoln penny is not just surviving, it's thriving in the spotlight. As collectors, historians, and treasure hunters continue their search, this unassuming coin proves time and again that greatness can come from the smallest of places. And in one astonishing example, a 1968 Lincoln 1-cent penny, struck with a rare double-die obverse, preserved in mint state condition, and professionally certified, was recently sold to a private collector after intense bidding. The final price paid for this tiny copper marvel reached an incredible total of $132,000.